Hi, everybody. It's Lisa, and I'm not going to have any intro music today. I just wanted to talk to you. So, I actually had 3 interviews this morning for my Death Talk podcast, and I went to the store to get something I needed. It was essential, and I was like, you know what? I need to just talk to my dream Dammit people. So I pulled over and I have my Zoom in my hand. So I apologize if the sound is a little wonky, but I really wanted to get this message to you. I just wanted to check in with you and find out how you're doing. And I hope you're not feeling too much despair or disconnect. But it is normal to feel some of this stuff. And yesterday was a turning point for me because I had gotten really down, really down. And so I just want to reach back and shine a light for anybody who's getting overwhelmed with the whole coronavirus, worldwide pandemic, social distancing, quarantine. I mean, we're being kept away from all our normal habits and situations and things that we love, our favorite cafe, our favorite bar, our favorite restaurant, our favorite people. And this is going to trigger a lot of people. It's going to be a really, scary time, and it's going to be a really uncomfortable time, uneasy. I had a bunch of goals for myself for March and April, and I was really excited about it. Really, I'm like, wow, I'm hitting my stride. And you guys know from what I've told you, like last year was such a hard year. And then I had this whole breakthrough at the end of December. So since January, I've been feeling really good, and I've been getting a lot of stuff done and just feeling good, like feeling like I'm in my purpose. I'm living the way that I want to live. I'm doing the things I want to do. It's not perfect, but I feel like I'm getting kind of closer to a system that would be good for me, that would feel good for me, be right for my energy. And March and April were key months to this whole thing with some video projects and some other things I had that I'm already working on. And everything's frozen, as you know. There is nothing right now, and nobody knows anything. And we go day by day. And in the county that I'm in right now, I'm in Northern California. And so this county just finally last night issued, they're calling it a directive. So they're calling it what's the word? Not stay at home, but shelter at home. I like how they think shelter sounds so much different because we know what they're saying. Stay at home, which is a good idea, and I understand it. But once they issued that here in this county, but I was already building up to this, and they said it'd be until April 7th. And I'm already kind of thinking, okay, they're probably not going to bring the kids back to school this semester. I mean, are they really? And there's so many things that are just like unknown, and for America, we're just peaking. We're just starting to peak with cases and everything else. So for us, it's a definite shutdown time where we need to like really be shut down. And so anyways, I'm thinking about all these projects that I was doing and all this stuff, and all of that is not going to happen the way that I wanted it to happen. And I didn't really realize it, but it was building up inside of me, basically like sadness, and that I needed to mourn the fact that I wanted those things to happen, and they would have been really good and it would have been awesome, but they're not going to happen. And it's not because of anything that I did or didn't do. It's something bigger than me, and it's something affecting the entire world right now. And so I finally just had this realization. I was sitting at my computer last night, and I was really starting to go downhill on all this. I was getting very depressed. I was just feeling anxious about the effect on world finances and everybody and everything. And then I was kind of asking my guidance, and I said, why don't I hear you or feel you? I feel no guidance whatsoever. I always kind of like snap at God when I'm going through stressful times. I'm like, God, you're not even there. No, so I was like, why don't I even feel any guidance? And the message I got was that I'm in my head. I'm still living in a place of fear, and I'm still holding on to what I wanted to have happen for March and April and the rest of my life. I mean, I'm not just talking about March and April, but I'm talking about some plans I had that was going to lay a foundation for some other things moving forward. And the guidance and the message I got last night was I'm still in that. I haven't let go of it yet. And when I can let go of that and be open to guidance, that's when I'll feel my guidance again. But I have to be open to it. The guidance is there. It's always there. And sometimes we're not receptive to it. And that's okay, but you just have to remember that. I had to remember that. So I thought, okay, that's true. And then I thought, well, what's standing in my way of letting this go? And then I realized I don't want to let it go. I'm mad. I'm like in a stalemate with the entire universe of like, no, I don't want to let it go. There's these things that I planned that were so awesome and I was doing so well and I was holding it all together. No, 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 no. I don't want this to be the reality. This is what was going on inside of me that I wasn't really fully aware of. And I was in denial of what's really going to happen and the fact that I have to let that go. It doesn't mean I'm not going to do it. It just means I'm not going to do it right now. And so the sun just came out here. Like I told you before, I'm in a parking lot and it's been really rainy up here and gray, which makes you feel even more like end of the world-ish. But about an hour ago, the sun came out. The sky is so blue. I'm going to take a picture and post it on the ihavedreamsdammit.com website because it's like my favorite kind of sky where it's like blue, blue, blue sky with white puffy clouds and the sun feels so strong but not annoying and hot. And it's just like perfect, exactly what you want. You know, they're saying like get out and get sunshine that helps kill viruses or whatever. I mean, at least I read that online and I believe that. But so people are all of a sudden out right now. I think they're running errands, they're going to the store, they're getting food. So there's a lot of noise around me, which there really shouldn't be because it's not really supposed to be a bunch of people out. But I'm glad that people are supporting business. You know, it's like that mixed message we're getting, like support business, but don't leave your house. You know, it's like we can't do both. Not everybody is Amazon, you know. But like my friend's deli, she's doing delivery, which they normally don't do it so wide, but they're doing delivery and takeout. And they also have frozen lasagnas and soups and stuff like that. So people are coming in and getting that. So that's great. And I love seeing people supporting business because we're going to need this. You know, these businesses can't sustain zero business until May. So we're going to need to somehow find a way to support our local businesses, especially family owned. Those are the ones that are going to be hit the hardest. But really all business right now really needs us to keep spending money, even though we're afraid because we're like, where's my money going to come from? For some people, for me, my business is service based. So if they're not, you know, wanting to have a video and well, no one's in the office to cut a check anyways, but there's another part of one of my videos that I need to film and I can't film the family because we're not supposed to be around people. So my jobs are all frozen up. There's nothing I can do about it. So I just have to trust the universe, you know, and to go back to what happened to me last night, I really started thinking about it. I was like, I need to let go because this reminds me after Derek died and I was kind of burning out with the whole entertainment industry in LA. And I just felt like I was always keeping all these balls in the air. And I was getting tired of that. And I was actually thinking I wanted to move, maybe spend some time, maybe not move, but spend a lot of time in Arizona to be around my brother, to be around my mom and my uncle who had just moved back there. I mean, he never lived there before. He actually moved there from Chicago. And I wanted to be around family more and slow my life down because LA and the entertainment industry in general and just the way that I was doing it was like I was on a crazy treadmill. And I kept thinking if I just do one more thing, if I go around this one more corner, I'll be situated, everything will be okay. And it's like, God, I really wish I would have slowed down at some point, but it wouldn't have made sense to do it. It would have looked like self-sabotage if there was nothing like a pandemic or a death going on. It would have looked like self-sabotage. Like people would have been like, well, why did you leave LA at that point? But if you know inside yourself that there's something going on that you need to shift gears, you should listen to it. And I wish I listened to it. Not that it would have changed that Derek died or didn't die. When Derek died, I was already so weakened that, I mean, that just was such a major blow to me. And I do sometimes wonder why I didn't just slow things down. Like, why did I act like somebody else was driving the car that I was driving and it was my foot on the gas pedal. I mean, I think about that a lot. Like, why? Why did I do that? Like, where was I going? What was the end goal? And sometimes we need that glass of cold water splashed into our face and just wake up, you know? And Derek's grandmother was an amazing person. They call her Nunu. And she used to say, don't be a victim. That was her big thing. Don't be a victim. And she'd laugh about it, but it's true. Like, don't be a victim of your life. If your foot is the one that's on the gas pedal, take it off. But, so that's what we're learning. Okay, we're learning to listen to ourselves, which is what this whole podcast is about. Listening to ourselves, listening to our intuition and our guidance. And sometimes there's something bigger than us that happens that's outside of us that is also teaching us. And it's not because you did something wrong. It's not because you're like right now, my life is good. I'm doing good things. It's not like how it was when Derek died, when everything was crazy and I wasn't really listening to myself. Which, side note, I don't know if I've told you guys, but one of the last conversations I had with Derek, I was, bitching about a bunch of things, and he was like, are you happy? And I said, no, I'm not happy. Why the hell would I be happy? The entertainment industry is totally competitive, and I don't have time for that. And he was laughing. And I go, why are you laughing? And he's like, because you of all people should be happy. And I think about that often, actually. I think about how stupid I must have sounded. Like, no, I don't have time to be happy. Like, how did I become like an after school special? Like, how did I become the person that needs to learn the lesson? I always thought I was out in front of this. And that's the thing about life, is that we always need those reminders, because we do get caught up, we get lost, and we get out of balance. And I got out of balance. It was like work became it just looks like it's so close. Like, if I could just do this one thing, then I can rest. If I can do this one thing and make it around the corner, then I'll be okay. And so we just keep holding on, but it's an illusion. And it's a mirage. And no matter how far we go, it stays, a little bit too far away. And what I've learned is to stop now and take care of myself. And I always get the image of like something being pruned, like a tree or a grapevine or rosebush being pruned, and like the universe or God is the gardener. And I was overly attached to the branches and the leaves of me. Those things are temporary. And they come, they go. We have bounty, we don't have bounty. The leaves grow in, new leaves, and then there's old leaves that drop off. And my identity and my consciousness should not be in the branches. It should be in the trunk and in the roots. But I couldn't do that. That's like grounding yourself, right? So and this is what the next episode's hopefully going to be about, I've been writing notes about it, is about the physical dimension, about grounding ourselves and how important it is to be in balance. So, because, we're doing all these spiritual things with our dreams, we're following our intuition, and we're out there creating and putting ourselves out into the world. But we have to be able to pull back in and take care of our vessel. And I do not do that enough. I'm determined. That's one of the things that I'm doing. And even in this time of this pandemic, I did it right before the seriousness of it hit the fan. I started keto. So I'm totally not eating any sugar. And I had gotten where sugar was really out of hand. And so I feel so much better. I'm like on day 5 and I feel amazing. But, I'm committed to taking better care of myself. And I've been going to a healer who does Reiki on me, and it's been really, really helpful. So the next episode that I'm going to talk about is, the physical and being grounded and how to do that and what that means to be grounded. And I'll get more into that in that podcast episode. But in the meantime, when I see situations like this, I see this as like a pruning. And so sometimes we do get attached to things around us, schedules, like having our favorite beer at our favorite pub at a certain day, or, meeting our friends in this certain way. Like, those kinds of things are really wonderful, and they're very healing and grounding and all of that. But at the end of the day, you have everything you need inside of you. You have a direct connect between yourself and the universe. And even though you get high levels of good feeling being with friends or going to your favorite places and all that kind of stuff that's being withheld from us right now, we all have that connection ultimately from within ourselves. We were born alone. When bad things happen or big situations that stop us, like, I don't know, like hurricane or fire or death or whatever, or this pandemic, coronavirus, it forces us to look at our lives differently. It forces us to let go of all those things that distract us to the truth that is us and the truth that's been in us our whole lives. And I believe that we're never disconnected from all those things. Everything is energy, even those that have passed, even our pets that have passed, all of those things we're still connected to. They're still here with us. And it's an illusion that there's separation. You know, what I'm doing right now is I'm reconnecting with the trunk and the roots of myself. And I'm letting go. Because honestly, like after Derek died, there's the loss of Derek, which nothing will ever make that right other than Derek being alive again. Nothing. No lesson, no piece of wisdom, nothing. The part of him the part of this reality is that he's gone will always depress me and make me angry and sad and feel disillusioned with life and everything else. So that is over there in the corner untouched. But there was another part after his death that was my life changed. And that was something that was really hard for me to deal with. But I honestly, looking back now, I see it as the reason why a lot of that other stuff was hard was because I was overly attached to it. I was overly dependent on all those things that I thought those things brought me peace or connection or safety. And what I realized by having all those things ripped away from me is, I mean, you know, so much ripped away that I have it inside of me. I don't need it as a thing on the outside. I don't need it as a person or a place or anything. I have that within me. And that sounds really corny until you actually live it, until you actually have that experience where you are broken away from all these things in your life. And so I just want to remind you that you are connected to the universe. And there has to be something bigger going on. And I mean, just think about the dolphins that are returning to the canals or the rivers in Venice. The earth is getting a break from us for a second. Not completely, but a little bit. I mean, good God, if for no other reason, just a little bit of that is so good. I just see those images and it warms my heart. I just feel like, oh my gosh. So, I mean, I'm not trying to lighten, the fact that people's lives were lost. That's awful. And that'll be forever awful in and of itself. But for the living and for what's going on here on earth, that's one thing that's good about it. It is good that the earth is getting a break. The pollution over China has gone down dramatically. The pollution over Italy has gone down dramatically. The stirring up of all the waters in the canals and stuff, that's gone down. So nature feels comfortable again showing up there. There's geese in the fountains in Italy. And who knows what's happening in the ocean now that the cruise ships have stopped. I mean, there's just sometimes we need a break and we need someone that's wiser than us to sort of do it for us because we're not wise enough to figure. Well, plus, I don't even know how we could do it. How could we have done this? Because people, you justify it. Just like I said, what I was doing before Derek died, you justify, yeah, well, we're not there yet. We got to do this. We got to do that. There's no way we could ever do that. We would never stop all businesses. We would never have everybody just stay at home. That's never going to happen. But then as soon as you put something out there like a pandemic, all of a sudden it can happen. And it's a reality. And guess what? It's real. We're doing it. So why did it take us to have a horrible, deadly virus for us to do this? I'm really actually proud of us that we're doing this. It's actually amazing that worldwide we've been able to do this. I know there's not everybody is complying and all that, but for the most part, it's been pretty peaceful, and I'm really happy about that. I'm proud of us. I'm proud of us little humans for getting it together and doing the right thing. Anyways, I wanted to keep this short, but I just did want to remind you that you are connected. You're not alone. You can reach out to me. You can send me an email at ihavedreamsdammit@gmail.com if you are feeling lonely or sad. Just send me a message. Maybe we can get a group together and just talk on one of the apps. There's so many apps where we can all stay connected. The fact that I can even get this message out to you, the world, right now, means, I think that's amazing. So I can't see people that I know, but I can send a message out to the listeners of this podcast all over the world, and from sitting in a parking lot holding the microphone in my hand. I absolutely love that. But so you're not alone. And also just take this opportunity to look inside of your life a little bit differently. Just try to get quiet, and also try to get outside and try to take walks if you can. I don't know if you're able to do that in your area, but I think you should be able to, especially if the sun is out. But also just even if the sun isn't out, because I think exercise is really important. My nephew was telling me that he was getting kind of down, but he went for a bunch of walks, and he said he feels a lot better. So I think that's really important. Keep active. And you know what? There's going to be a time where we're not going to have social distancing. And even though there's going to be a lot of ramifications for the financial part of it, we're going to get back on track, and we're going to be doing stuff. So whatever goals you're working on and whatever business stuff you're working on, maybe just start picturing, okay, June 1st, I don't know, just throw it out there at some date. June 1st, you're going to be fully back in business and busy again. So what can you do from now until then? Or if it helps, say May 1st. But I think it's going to be June 1st. But anyways, May 1st. So that gives you the rest of March and then all of April. So what are you going to do? What can you do? Do you want to read more books? Do you want to start a podcast? Do you want to write a book? Do you want to start an online business? Do you want to paint some paintings that you always put off, and you just have all the canvases and the paint in the back bedroom, but you want to pull them back out? I don't know, writing. This is the time when art, gardening, and animals are all coming to the forefront, because my animals are so important to me right now because they're not, social distancing, and nature is so important. So if you can garden in your yard or plant some plants inside pots inside your house, that's really important, being out in nature. And art, listening to art, listen to your favorite podcasts, listen to some music, maybe learn how to play guitar, play the piano or the flute, learn how to sing. There's online courses for pretty much anything. So Google some online courses. I know teachable.com has a bunch of courses. They're everywhere. And just Udemy, I don't know, there's a lot. Skillshare, learn a new skill. Learn how to do websites or, I don't know, bookkeeping, anything. And this time will be a really serious time, but it'll also be a time where you'll look back on and go, I took a horrible situation and I changed my life for the better. And I know with Derek and Michael's deaths, it's I would much rather have them here, but it was so awful, and it was just so, it just was so awful. But the only thing I could do to make that situation not horrible was to make myself and the world better. And that's why I'm doing the stuff I'm doing, is so that I can help somebody else out there. So if I can light the way for you, then that means the world to me. And I literally thought I was dead for years. I did not want to live. And I just didn't want to be part of this place anymore. And I felt so much darkness and sadness. And if I can find life after all of that, and meaning and wanting to be here and laughing, I actually crack up and laugh and have fun and enjoy things, and I'm happy. How is that possible? How is that possible after what I went through? If you knew what I would look like and sounded like after that time, you'd be shocked. You'd be like, I can't believe you're the same person. Because I really didn't believe I would ever make it out of that. But I did. And we will make it out of this. we will. We will make it out of this. And when we do, we can either make it out of this with as if, nothing really changed, or we can make it out of this having changed for the better. And so don't put pressure on yourself either, but just follow that little feeling of whatever it is inside of you that's going, I really always wanted to illustrate things. I want to just illustrate a children's book or whatever. Put yourself out there. We live in an amazing time with the internet, and you can do and learn almost anything. Okay, stay strong. Remember to email me if you need to, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye-bye.